Welcome back to the channel. This is the final verdict. In this video, I'm going to reveal how much Omi I personally believe you need to be a millionaire in the next cycle, or just in general as well, right? Because I don't want everybody to fixate on a time frame. I don't want you to fixate on a specific date, because remember, often it's not about timing the market, it's about time in the market. And that's what we're going to discuss today. Now, before we get into the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, click the bell notification icon so you can stay up to date with all my recent videos. Remember, guys, nothing that you see in this video is financial advice. So always make sure to do your own independent research. And with that being said, pause the video, click the link in my description, and join the Telegram group so you can stay up to date with all my recent updates, news updates, technical updates, and much more. Now, for everybody watching this, no matter what position you're in, I'm sure there's people watching this with 100,000 Omi. There's people watching this with 100 million Omi. There's some people watching this with 10 million, 1 million, right? So it's going to be subjective to your own personal circumstance, but I'm going to try and break this down as easy as possible so everybody can get a rough idea of whether they're in a good position or not. Now, firstly, I want to say to everybody watching this, I've actually revised my end of year price prediction for Omi, right? I've revised my end of year price prediction for Omi for several different reasons. Number one, because I was factoring in data that unfortunately hasn't yet been not necessarily priced in, but it's not yet apparent. So for example, there's no point talking about a Binance listing, a Coinbase listing, because we don't even know if that will happen next year. And even if it does happen, will it happen at a time where that kind of a listing will be effective? So for example, if Omi Omi was listed on a Binance at any point in 2022, it would have had little to no impact on price action. Why? Because people are still in a state of fear, which means there's not going to be that heavy buying pressure that we saw in the 2021 bull cycle when we saw these coins listed on these major exchanges. So that's number one. Number two, I have to go on previous price action. So, from what we've seen dating back to 2021, I mean, yes, Omi was a fantastic mover in that cycle. But here's the thing. If we go down and we look at 2021, did price recover in November when we saw some coins go back up to their all-time highs? Unfortunately, we didn't see that with Omi. So it would be, there's no point, making it the most bullish case scenario. We want to make it the most realistic case scenario, so obviously our members can better prepare for the road ahead. And if you want access to that end of year prediction, then it would be a good time for all of you to join the Crypto Crew Premium channel, link in my description. So now let's talk about how much Omi one would need. Now, the first thing I want to say is this: if you're someone that has, I would say, above 10 million Omi coins, you're going to be in two camps. The first camp is somebody that bought in 2021. You probably bought in with a lot of capital, and you could be even down 70, maybe even 90% on your capital right now. So you're in that camp where technically the price needs to recover quite significantly just for you to make your money back. Now, if you're in that camp, then there are strategies that can be deployed right now to eradicate this loss, double overall holdings, and much more. The second camp are those that have been essentially accumulating and buying at these lows. Now, obviously, that group is going to be in the best position at the moment. They're basically buying on pennies on the dollar. I mean, literally the type of positionings at these areas are insane, because guess what? Even if price, let's just say goes up to, let's just say price goes back up to this area that we saw here in Jan 2022. So let's just say price goes up to this area, right? From where we currently are now, that would be a 10x, 1000% gain. Now, what does that mean? That means if I bought right now with $1,000, I would be up $10,000, right? If I bought right now with $10,000, then I would be up $100,000. If I put in 100K, then I would hit $1 million. So to answer that question, one could just buy with $100,000 now, wait for price to hit this area here that we saw in Jan 2022 and also 16th of October 2021. So we can see that this is a significant area of resistance, and I guess would be a safe next target. Now, if I was someone that wanted to make a quick meal, then I would plow in 100,000 at this area. And of course, don't do this, right? This is not, a game plan for you. This is just a hypothetical, right? 100,000, price hits this area, you've just made a meal, right? Now, differently, if you only had $1,000, then obviously you need price to go up more. And that's why how much you need in this video, right, is going to be dependent on one thing. Well, no, two things. Number one, how long do you plan to hold, right? That is the first thing. Number two, how much you can, not only how long you plan to hold, but how much pain you can tolerate as well. And here's a classic example. Let's say let's just say you have a million Omi tokens, and in 2024 price goes up significantly, and let's say price goes up to 20 cents, you're up $200,000, right? Let's just say you're up $200,000 with only 1K down. Now, here's where timing comes into it, because if you're saying that I'm going to hold on until price hits $1, you have to be willing to experience a lot of pain. And what does that mean? That means you could potentially see that 1K turn into 300,000 or 400,000. That could be the peak of the bull cycle, and then you could see price crash all the way back down and maybe go down to 50 or even 100K, and you could literally be waiting another 2 to 4 years just to hit your desired target. So if you're someone that cannot and realistically, especially with the way your life may be set up, where you cannot afford to wait, let's say another 7 to 8 years for price to hit your $1 target, then therefore it would make sense to build out your portfolio in a way in which you don't have to suffer that pain, right? So instead of if price hit that 20-cent target, maybe if you doubled your amount, instead of at peak price hitting 400,000, if you maybe add in an extra double whatever you did, then it would be 800,000, and therefore it would make more sense for you to take profit at that amount, right? So that's what you have to think about, not only the time frame but the pain and what you're willing to tolerate, right? So subjectively speaking, I would say the amount required is 1 million Omi tokens. I think bare minimum, it not only is it, in my opinion, doable for everybody, especially if you're dollar cost averaging, but I think from a grand scheme, just from the bigger picture, if you're someone that has an extensive portfolio, it means you have your Bitcoins, you have your Ethereums, you have some other products in your portfolio, and you're not purely dependent on Omi, then I think just over 1 million is fine. Why? Because you have the patience to just let it play out without that pressure of feeling, every single move in the market. If you find yourself fixating on price and feeling very, emotional whenever the market goes up or down, it means you're either over leveraged or you have too many eggs in one basket, right? So that's the way I would look at this, time and your pain threshold. But I think 1 million is more than enough. I think obviously a strategy, if you have a game plan and strategy, then I think you'll be able to hit your quote unquote $1 million mark way before, price even hits $1, or even being able to pull out significant amounts of profit before price ever hits these target areas. But of course, that is going to depend on how high you think OMI will climb in 2024. If you're someone that wants to get out of the market before the end of 2024, then of course you cannot fixate on $1, because again, unless you believe price will hit $1, then it's not the best strategy. So I hope I've made it clear to everybody. If I haven't, then I'll conclude. I think $1 is, sorry, not $1, 1 million is the bare minimum. I do think a few points is how long you want to be in the market and your pain threshold. Once you can figure that out, and also your end of year price prediction for OMI, I think you'll be in a great position. But anyway, if you want our specific targets, our specific profit taking targets, so the first few areas that we're looking to take profit at, what our 2024 price prediction is and more, then now would be a good time to join Crypto Crew Premium. Link in my description, especially as the overall market is moving. Please don't be the person that's trying to come in right at the end, or it just doesn't work. So get prepared now, join us now. I'll see you all in Crypto Crew Premium. Until next update, seize the day.